Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's when he tried biting. I ain't even noticed that till somebody said something. Somebody said he tried to bite me. I ain't know nothing until somebody said that shit after the fight. And look, they talking about it.
Oh, whoa, whoa. Well, it's another comparison I don't want to make to Mike Tyson, but...
Nah, that's crazy. That's what he do. He get dirty. He know that heat coming.
After the controversy in round 9, Roach now says that Davis tried to bite his ear in round 6, comparing it to the famous moment when Mike Tyson bit Evander Holyfield. Roach landed more clear punches and controlled many key parts of the fight, making people question the final result. Then Joe Budden added to the drama by fully supporting Roach. He said, "I owe that man an apology. He earned my respect. That was a great fight. Probably the best fight I've ever seen against Tank. I think he won. I do too. If they counted the knockdown, he would have won." Budden's words shook the boxing world. Many now believe Roach should have been declared the winner. Fans and boxing experts are closely analyzing every round. Roach showed he's a top-level fighter, and now there's growing pressure on Davis to agree to a rematch. Former fighters, trainers, and analysts mostly agree Roach deserved better. Many think the knockdown in round 9 should have counted, which could have changed the result. Sergio Mora, a former world champion and respected analyst, also shared his thoughts. He praised Roach's performance and said it was sad the judges didn't count the knockdown. He called it terrible. Mora's comments reflect what many people have been saying since the fight ended. Roach gave a great performance, but the judge's decision didn't reflect that. Calls for a rematch are getting louder, and people want answers. Experts are now asking if this fight might lead to changes in how boxing matches are judged, especially big ones like this. Roach's team is still speaking out and refusing to let the issue fade. As the boxing world pays close attention, another big name joined the conversation: Joe Rogan. Rogan, known for his strong opinions and deep knowledge of combat sports, didn't hold back. He said Roach not only won rounds, but also scored a knockout that wasn't counted. His comments have added even more heat to the ongoing.
You didn't think
great fight, but I just champion guy taking a knee, talking about greasing his hair.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I'm like, yo, how you just in the middle of the fight just go wipe your face?
Also, here's the deal: if you take a knee, that's a knockdown.
That's a knockdown. So track 2, right?
You got hit with a jab.
Yeah.
You took a knee.
And then you walked off.
Exactly. That is a knockdown.
Yeah.
So I think they're reviewing that right now.
Nah, that guy should have lost, man.
Joe Rogan's comments have made Roach's case even stronger. The boxing world is now in chaos, with many people saying the sport needs better judging. Fans are demanding answers, and some are calling this one of the biggest unfair decisions in recent years. Roach's reputation is at an all-time high, and his supporters are standing by him. The calls for justice are growing, and everyone in the boxing world is watching to see what will happen next. The controversy around the GervontaDavis versus LamontRoach fight keeps getting bigger, with fans and experts calling it a robbery. Now, another major figure has spoken out: Canelo Alvarez. The boxing superstar didn't hold back. He said Davis's actions in the ring were unacceptable and that what happened should have led to a disqualification. Canelo's words have added even more pressure on both Davis and the Boxing Commission to deal with the situation.
GervontaDavis take a knee, and should he have been deducted a point and in the end lost that fight to Roach, in your opinion?
Yeah, in my opinion, it was a draw. He take a knee. And plus the corner go up and put it a towel in the face. That's a disqualification for sure. I'm talking about the rules, but it's not my...
Canelo's comments sent shockwaves through the boxing world, making Roach's case even stronger. Many people believe that if a legend like Canelo is speaking out about the unfairness, then something needs to be done. Roach's team is now pushing even harder for a rematch, refusing to accept the result without a fight. Meanwhile, Davis has not responded to the growing criticism. As more people call for answers, his silence is only making the situation worse. The boxing world is divided, and with stars like Canelo joining in, the pressure on Davis and the officials is higher than ever. Even with the support of fans and boxing legends, Roach didn't stop there. he took it to the next level by officially appealing the result. His team gave strong reasons, pointing to missed calls and bad decisions by the referee. Many believed the appeal could either change the outcome or at least lead to a rematch. But in a decision that upset a lot of fans, the appeal was rejected. That means Davis keeps his undefeated record, and the controversy still hasn't been resolved.
That they wasn't going to overturn it?
Yeah.
I mean, I expected that. I don't really see them doing that. Tank is too big of an attraction. New York, I felt like for a while I was battling with Las Vegas for the big fights. Big fights are edging back to New York. Devin Haney, Brian Garcia was in New York. Tank was in New York with this one, for Lamont. Tank was also in New York for, was it a Rolly?
Rolly. Wilder, Helenius, New York.
Wilder, Helene. You know what I mean? So what I'm trying to say is New York trying to stay in the mix when it comes to the big fights. So I didn't, and the reason that matters is because they lose out on a lot of big shows if they overturn it. If they keep it a draw, we get to see the draw again in New York. That's what Tank said.
Trainer Greg Hackett shared his thoughts on the situation, explaining why it was unlikely the result would be overturned. He said that big business has a big influence in boxing. States like New York want to host more major fights, and keeping the result as it is sets up a high-profile rematch. This helps promoters and the city stay in the spotlight, but while that benefits the business side, it leaves Roach and his team feeling like they have no choice but to fight even harder for a rematch. The rejection of the appeal has only made fans more upset, with many calling for fairness in the sport. Now that the appeal has been denied, all eyes are on getting a rematch. Roach isn't backing down. He wants a clear and fair ending to this fight. Fans, boxing experts, and even other fighters are now urging Davis to accept the challenge and prove who the real winner is. The first fight was close and competitive, and many believe the rematch would be even bigger. With both fighters having something to prove, the pressure is building, and the stage is set for a high-stakes show.
You got to learn from the first fight. You got to learn from the first fight, and you got to bring something different, but at the same time, you still got to be careful. That goes for both sides. You can't pick a winner. The fight was too good. You can't pick a winner. I see where Lamont neutralized Tank, and I see where Tank neutralized Lamont. Somebody gotta go even further. This might be one of them Jones, man. We might see 3 of these.
Trainer Greg Hackett shared his thoughts on a possible rematch, saying both fighters need to make important changes. He explained that Roach must learn from the first fight and come in with a new game plan, while Davis also needs to be more careful. The first fight was very close, with no clear winner, which makes a second fight even more exciting. A rematch seems like the only way to settle things for good. Both sides understand how important it is, and if it happens, it could be one of the biggest fights in recent boxing history. Boxer Julian Gonzalez also gave his opinion on the rematch. He said the first fight was really tough and admitted he thought Roach won, but he wasn't angry about the draw because the fight was so close. Like many others, he expects both fighters to return stronger and put on another great battle. With Davis aiming to quiet the critics and Roach determined to prove he was robbed, the rematch is shaping up to be even bigger than the first one.
Who do you feel like wins the rematch?
Who wins the rematch?
Yeah.
They're both gonna come ready again. See, the first one was a tough one too. I had Lamont pulling it off. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, smudge. Like I wasn't mad at the draw. You know, I'm gonna rock with Lamont though.
Think Lamont takes it?
It's hard.
Close, yo.
Because Lamont surprised me a lot. You know, so yeah, I'm gonna say Lamont, man.
As more people in the boxing world speak out, the pressure on Davis to accept a rematch keeps growing. Roach has already said he wants another chance, and his team is doing everything they can to make it happen. Fans are supporting him. believing he deserves a fair shot at getting a clear win. The controversy from the first fight hasn't gone away, and many agree that a rematch is the only way to settle it. Both fighters now have something to prove, and the boxing world is getting ready for what could be one of the most exciting fights of the year. Joe Rogan also shared his thoughts, saying this rematch would be one of the most exciting matchups in the division. He explained that besides big names like Shakur Stevenson and Lomachenko, there aren't many interesting opponents left for Davis. That's why a rematch with Roach is such a big deal, not just for Roach, but for Davis too. With the controversy still fresh, doing the fight again would draw massive attention and finally settle the argument about who really won.
A rematch, very exciting though. Yeah. And I think that's great for Gervonta because other than Shakur, who's the other major star, and then Lomachenko if he decides to fight again. But other than that, there's not a lot of compelling
challenges out there for him.
So now this LamontRoach fight becomes like the most compelling fight in the division for him.
Joe Rogan's opinion has added even more support to the growing demand for a rematch. The first fight showed that Roach is a serious threat, and many people believe he deserves another chance against Davis. But this rematch wouldn't just be about Roach proving himself. It's also a chance for Davis to win in a more convincing way. A second fight could turn into one of the biggest events in boxing, attracting both casual viewers and die-hard fans. With so much on the line for both fighters, the pressure is on to make the rematch happen. Rogan continued to praise LamontRoach, especially for how brave and fearless he was against GervontaDavis. He explained that Davis usually dominates his opponents, with many fighters too scared to stand their ground. But Roach was different. He didn't back down and gave a performance that showed he truly belongs at the top level. Their past as amateur fighters may have added some fire to the fight, but Roach proved that in the pros, he's more than just someone from Davis's past. His skill, toughness, and the way he pushed Davis to the limit have now made him one of the rising stars in the division.
Yeah. And Lamont was not scared of him. But
unique.
They have fought in the amateurs before. I think they fought twice in the amateurs. But Lamont's a new star. That guy's super legit. Super legit and very skillful. Like the way it wasn't just that like Gervonta didn't show up or Gervonta wasn't at his best. No, like Lamont fought a fantastic fight. You know what I'm excited for, man? Terrence Crawford and Canelo. That's
gonna be a big one.
That's the one.
That's a big, huge fight.
That's the one.
That's the one.
Yeah, a lot of people think Terrence is too small. He weighed himself the other day. He was 185 pounds.
Joe Rogan's comments have helped build Roach's growing reputation in boxing. Roach didn't just survive against Davis. He brought the fight to him and made it one of the toughest challenges of Davis's career. Now, fans and analysts see Roach as a real contender, not just a tough opponent. His performance has changed how people view the lightweight division, putting his name among the top fighters. With all this momentum, a rematch wouldn't just be about clearing up the controversy. It would be a huge fight between two of the biggest names in the division, with everything on the line. Boxer Regis Prograis also shared his thoughts. He's leaning toward GervontaDavis in a rematch. Prograis said that while the first fight didn't go as people expected, he believes the second time around Davis will stop Roach. There have been rumors that Davis wasn't in the right mindset before the first fight, and some think that affected his performance. Prograis believes that if Davis comes in fully focused and prepared, he will dominate the
rematch, to be honest.
Tell me why.
I think he'll stop him in the rematch, too.
Tell me why.
I think he'll stop him. I mean, well, I just feel like
your boy Shock said that they were sparring over there. That the round two, the next fight, we're gonna get like what we expected. Did you feel any of that?
That's what I feel, bro. I feel like the next fight, I feel like I think Tank gonna put him on the next fight. Now it's all rumors and stuff. Of course, we don't know if it's true, but I mean, I heard that Tank was going through a lot of stuff, bro. We all know, bro. Like, well, I know, but a lot of people, I mean, as a fighter, bro, it's more mental than anything. When you got a lot of stuff mentally going on, bro.
Even though Regis Prograis favors Davis in a rematch, many people still believe Roach has what it takes to pull off an upset. His performance in the first fight showed that he's not just another opponent, he's a serious contender. If Davis really was distracted during the first fight, then a fully focused version of him in a rematch could be even tougher. But Roach is only getting better, and his confidence has grown after going toe-to-toe with one of boxing's most dangerous punchers. A rematch wouldn't just be about clearing up the controversy. It would be about proving who the better fighter truly is. Progra's also talked more about Davis's mindset before the fight, stressing how important mental health is in boxing. He reminded people that fighters are human too and sometimes go through personal struggles. According to Progra, Davis was dealing with a lot outside the ring, which could have affected how he performed. He even pointed to interviews where Davis mentioned thoughts of retirement and going to therapy, suggesting his mind wasn't fully focused on the fight. If that's true, it might help explain why Davis didn't dominate.
Bro, fighters are human just like everybody is, so we got a lot of mental going on, a lot of personal stuff going on, and when you got all that stuff going on, bro, like, it'll get in your head, you know what I'm saying? So I heard that Tank had a lot of stuff going on, and you can tell, bro, you can even hear him in the interviews. He was talking about retirement, he was talking about going to therapy. So when you hear that, bro, you know, like, he's not mentally there. He's not clear. He's not clear-headed mentally.
Davis's mental state has now become a big topic as people talk about a possible rematch. Some believe that if Davis is fully focused, he'll perform much better the second time. Others think the close fight had more to do with Roach's skill. Either way, the rematch is shaping up to be even bigger than the first, with both fighters having something to prove. If Davis really was distracted before, this is his chance to show the world what he can do when he's 100%. On the other side, Roach is more motivated than ever. He came close to pulling off a huge upset and is now determined to finish the job if they fight again. Regis Progra continued to stand by his opinion that Davis wasn't mentally all there for the first fight. He said that Davis's interviews and body language showed something was off. He talked about retirement, therapy, and other personal issues. Progra believes all of that played a big role in why the fight was so close. He added, "Yeah, bro, I just felt like he was going to have a hard fight." From him saying that stuff, it's like he wasn't there, he wasn't clear. But in a rematch, I feel like he'll be clear. If Davis really was distracted, the rematch could be his perfect chance to prove himself with no outside issues. He could show the dominant version of himself that made him one of the most feared fighters in the sport. But Roach now has the experience and confidence to go the full distance with Davis. Unlike before, he knows what to expect and will be ready to take advantage of any mistakes. No matter how prepared Davis is, Roach isn't backing down. This rematch isn't just about controversy anymore, it's about showing who the true winner really is. Progra also pointed out more reasons why Davis might not have been fully ready. He mentioned that Davis had problems not only in his personal life, but also in his training camp. There were rumored issues with his longtime trainer, Kevin Ford, which might have affected his preparation. Progra believes that once those problems are solved, Davis will return to top form. He remains confident that a focused Davis will win the rematch, and this time, do it in convincing fashion.